The kingdom of Petria is facing a challenging time. More and more beasts have been spotted throughout the land, plundering and attacking villagers. What's more, the neighboring kingdom, Arglist, is attempting to claim Petrian land, and they don't plan to be diplomatic about it. It will not be easy, but Petria is standing strong and ready to face the troubles that lie ahead. Hi, my name is Yolf, and this is my fan-made medieval-themed TFT set of quests and kingdoms. And by made, I mean that I just wrote a detailed hypothetical set that is not playable and it never will be. Unless... No, but seriously, let's get into it. Let's start with the set mechanic, quests. Starting at stage 2-5, you can choose one of 3 quests, and they are rerollable just like augments. You can then send up to 3 units to go on the quest, taking them from your board or bench, for a couple of rounds depending on the quest. Then they'll return with a reward, and you'll get to choose the next quest. Sometimes the units will have to fulfill certain requirements like combined star level or stuff like that. We'll get back to quests in a little bit, but for now I want to show you the traits. Like mentioned at the start, the Kingdom of Petria will take center stage in the setting. They are basically the equivalent of Demacia in this alternate universe, which will become very apparent when we look at the Royal Guard. The Royal Guard was the first trait I thought of, and it might be my favorite. On the one hand, it marks certain hexes, giving stat bonuses, which is nothing new for TFT, but you also gain recruitment badges, allowing you to recruit other units to the Royal Guard. Badges don't take up an item slot, kind of like void mutations in lore and legends. They will grant the holder all of the benefits of the Royal Guard trait, but they won't contribute to it. Meaning, if you have 4 Royal Guard units and 1 unit with a recruiter's badge, it will count as 4 Royal Guard units for the trait synergy, and you will not get the bonus for 5 Royal Guard. But if you're not satisfied with that, you might want to stick around till we talk about quests again. Next, we have the beasts terrorizing the villagers of Petria. Symbolizing the overwhelming force of a bunch of wild animals ambushing the enemy team, the beasts dazzle their enemies with every 3rd consecutive attack against the same target. Dazzle reduces the target's damage output by 10%, it doesn't stack by the way, and when attacking those dazzled enemies, beasts gain AD, and all beast units are designed as AD units, as you might be able to imagine. But the villagers do not plan on surrendering. They band together, ready to fight, and make sure everyone makes it out alive. On each cast, they heal the lowest health villager. Additionally, they provide stat bonuses, and each villager provides their own. And the bonuses get stronger with each villager unit on the board. Now we get to the Ragtag crew. They are your typical RPG party of unlikely allies, going on quests and making the world a better place. Or just making money, we'll see how it goes. They each get stronger with the first 3 quests they complete. When they're on the board, they don't have a trait bonus, but assembling the whole crew gives you access to the Big Bad Evil Guy quest that will empower all of them with upgraded abilities, but more on that later. For now, we need to look out, because the neighboring nation is looking to invade Petria. It's Arglist. The equivalent of Noxus, this trait will grant you special items, the 3 parts of the Triferix. By the way, the Triferix is actually a real thing in the real lore of the real game, so you can look it up if you want to. The 3 parts of the Triferix are Guile, Vision and Might. Guile grants 30 AP and on takedown grants the user 10 mana. Vision grants 30 attack speed and 2 attack range, and the holder's basic attack target random enemies in range, which is the same effect as the artifact Fishbones. Lastly, Might grants 30 AD and the user's attacks and abilities ignore 20% of armor. Oh yes, and the trait also grants health and damage amp. Moving on to the fabled masters of their craft, the Prodigies. Legendary for their skills at their various jobs, these units grant their trait bonuses to the entire team, but only with one or with all Prodigies fielded. The bonus also gets stronger when all Prodigies are fielded. Zoe, the young arcane prodigy, grants your team a chance to cast twice on each cast. Jax, the angler prodigy, fishes you gold every other round. Mundo, the executioner prodigy, executes any enemy below a certain max health threshold. And Riven, the farmer prodigy, who also has the villager trait by the way, grants the whole team healing per second and an increase on healing from all sources. In the shadows lurks another threat, currently unknown to most citizens of Petria. The Coven is the loss streak trait of the set, fairly straightforward. Every combat loss and every killed enemy unit adds points flavored as magic. On combat win you automatically cash out, granting your usual cash out loot. Coven units also gain AP based on the cash out in an attempt to make them viable after one big cash out. The monks of the monastery step into the fight, and they are not the pacifist kind. Monastery units gain durability and deal a percentage of their damage as true damage. After 2 seconds, the unit that took the most damage triples its durability, and the unit that dealt the most damage triples the true damage percentage. Every 4 seconds, the bony gets reassigned. I know I just read was in the description, but I didn't know how to shorten it. Same with the Thieves Guild. You gain a 1-star copy of the first enemy unit you kill every combat. Thief units also gain AD and AP, which increases with every gold worth of copies gained. Also, hexes on your board will be marked, allowing thief units to jump into the enemy backline, at the cost of taking double damage for the first 8 seconds of combat. You may have also noticed that yet another villager has a second trait. Azriel has both the villager's trait and the Thieves Guild trait. And returning all the way back to the court of Petria, the alchemists are hard at work. They love throwing explosive stuff, so their basic attacks deal damage in a 1 hex radius around their target. They also gain AP, presenting a sort of counterpart for the AD focused beast trait. Finally, there are some unique traits that each have only one 5-cost unit. The trope of dragons almost didn't make it into this set, but don't worry, for Aoshin is here to save the day, or ruin it on account of being a dragon. Anyway, Aoshin, the lightning dragon, periodically smites the highest current health enemy with max health true damage, because if you have lightning in TFT, it's gotta be max health true damage. Moving on to Viego, King of the Blessed Isles. That's right, this is Viego before he lost his wife and listened to this guy. He plagiarizes Azir, spawning 2 soldiers from his army to help him fight, except these guys can actually fight and are not just stationary. Ivern is a mystical creature and the topic of many bedtime stories, but only few know that he actually exists, dancing through the woods of Petria. After casting Daisy, Ivern dances, healing Daisy and a couple of your units on his marked hexes. King Jarvan IV, the 5-cost of the Royal Guard, also brings his own unique trait, granting you free rerolls each round straight from his military funds. And finally, the 5-cost beast, Anivia, has a unique trait too. The first time she dies, she'll retrieve into her egg, and if the egg survives, she will revive. Okay, these were all of the origin traits. I will get to the class traits later, but first I wanted to show you the quests. By the way, for anyone who is not aware, TFT traits are split into origin traits and class traits. The class traits are the ones that just say gain attack speed or gain health. Here we have the regular quests. They can be chosen by anyone from the start and they grant classical loot like components or free rerolls. There's also the Grand Adventure quest, a 3-part quest with increasingly harder requirements for each part. After stage 4-1, more valuable quests will appear, but they are also more difficult. But now, let's get to the origin quests. The Triferix Supreme is the origin quest for Arglist. You will need all 7 Arglist champions and you will need to send 1 Arglist champion onto the quest, equipped with 1 part of the Triferix and 1 other item. After 2 rounds, the unit will return with an upgraded version of the part of the Triferix, doubling all of its stats and boni. Healing Wounds is an origin quest for the Villager trait. You will need to have at least 3 Villager and a Villager champion who participated in at least 6 fights who will go on the quest. You can do this one twice and it will reward you with what's basically a lucky item chest for the Villager champion and the champion's bonus in the Villager trait is now 30% stronger. Now, I've already teased this quest when I was talking about the Royal Guard. For this quest you will need all 7 Royal Guard and you will need to send the 3 non-guards with badges to the quest, and after 3 rounds the recruits will come back promoted to full Royal Guards, meaning in addition to their other traits they will now have the Royal Guard trait, and it will not even be via emblem or something, so you don't need to give up an item slot. Additionally, 10 Royal Guard will get upgraded to Prismatic, granting additional bonus stats, and the first time each ally falls below 35% max health, they restore 40% max health over 2 seconds. Now, this quest is pretty essential to the trait of the Ragtag Crew, the Big Bad Evil Guy quest. After collecting all 5 Ragtag Crew members and sending them all on the quest, which is the one exception where you can actually send 5 units on a quest for 2 rounds, each Ragtag Crew unit gains maximum quest stacks and a unique upgrade to their ability. And the last origin quest, because I didn't do one quest for each origin trait because I just wanted to do the ones where I had a unique idea for it, is We're Thieves, It's What We Do, where you need 4 Thieves Guild units and you need to send one of the Thieves Guild units for 3 rounds to get 2 Thieves Gloves. For the sake of completeness, I want to leave you with class traits. However, I'm not going to read you each of them, since most of them really are as simple as gain this stat bonus. But I have assigned an ability to each unit I used in the set. I am probably going to make a second part presenting all of them, but I'm still deciding whether or not that is worth the effort. For now, I want to thank you all for listening. I don't really have an outro sentence yet, but like, video's over.